Hello everyone, it's me Claudia here, the Wellness Universe Instagram. We are here for another interview with our authors for the Guide of Complete Self-Care 25 Tools for Transformation. Today I will interview Janette. Hello Jean. Hello Marisa. While you guys are joining us, I will kindly ask you to send this live for people who can join us. I will do my part right now. Let me send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello, Kathleen.
Hi, hello, Claudia.
There we go.
Good to see you.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Janette.
Hi there. Here we are.
Here we are for a new book, right?
Yes.
Time flies. Seems like it was yesterday we were releasing the 25 Tools for Life, and now we are here to 25 Tools for Transformation.
Yes.
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 How was for you girls, like this time, the short time to write another story, to share another story for your journey to our readers?
Well, for me, Kathleen was always going to go with book number 5 and book number 6, and I thought I would pass on book number 6. But then when Anna asked me again, it was a yes. To share my tool of transformation. So, Kathleen, what about you?
This one was so much easier for me because I did book 5, and thank you, Janette, for holding my hand most of the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Navigate everything. And I'm excited about this chapter.
Yeah, me too. I see Jean is joining us and Marisa. We've got
Yeah.
a few live folks here,
So
so great.
nice. Thank you. Yeah, Janette, she has this, right, Kathleen? She's always holding our hands, whether it's herself or with her angels.
She is an angel.
Oh, well, you guys are so kind. Thank you.
I'd like also to say thank you because Jeanette's the one that is responsible to organize this interview. So I'm very grateful for her, for everything she's doing for the wellness universe, not just being a writer in this book, in this chapter, but also everything she's been doing for the wellness universe. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Oh,
Me
thank
too.
you so much.
Me too.
And it's just amazing to be in the room with so many wonderful authors. And we do have a special treat for chapter number 25, which is different than the last book. So I'll let Anna talk about that on her show. But um, thank you, Marisa. You're too kind. Appreciate that. But it's just been fabulous, Claudia, that it's come together so easily. And the stories feel really important. The ones that I've read, I've had the pleasure of reading a couple that people have shared with me, and we're going to be getting our PDF copy early next week from the publisher. So we're really excited about that. So we'll get to read everyone's story and see what their tool is going to be. So it's just amazing to get to know these people that are making such an impact in the world, making our world a better place through their transformation. Hi, Anna. Glad you're here.
Directly from Amsterdam. She's at the Soccer X right now.
She's on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's always traveling. She's everywhere.
Yes.
And I think these books that we're writing they're so full of personal stories and there's so many of us that the books touch countless lives. And not only do we tell our story, but when we share our tool, it really helps the people in the world know that there are ways that we can navigate the challenges in life.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is
Exactly.
incredible. I always like to say, I don't want to sound repetitive, but I like to use as a oracle.
Mhm.
And I would like to actually start with you, Kathleen, about your chapter because you're talking about this whispering of your soul when you're ready to recognize that's not your ego talking to you, but it's your soul and you should go for it. So I feel like whenever I'm with the books, I like to use as an oracle because sometimes we question ourselves, right? Especially with so much noise around us in this daily basis. It's so a lot of things I have to do to get through all of our to-do list in a day.
Right.
So eventually we struggle with, is this something that is coming from my heart, from my soul? It's my ego because I have all of the things to achieve and I'm very behind that. How do you connect with that?
Well, first of all, I've found throughout my life that the soul whispers. I call it the whispers of my soul. So that's why meditation is so important. Whatever is meditative for you, that will quiet and calm your mind, because the mind is a very busy place and it drowns out the whispers of our soul. But there are times when our soul really, really emphasizes that something is or is not right for us. And that can be, that we feel anxious. Our gut is twisting and saying, no, this is not good. And, I mean, for myself, there have been times when I've ignored that and I've really paid a heavy price for it. So what I find is that it's those subtle little thoughts that come through that are so quiet and so subtle. So the more aware you are of them, and that only comes from having a quiet mind, really knowing, having the tools to quiet your mind so that you can hear the whispers of the soul.
Right. If
Right.
you're on this noise, if you're completely into this environment, you cannot listening to your soul. That's the one tip, the one thing that you should acknowledge first of all. I
Yes,
love that.
definitely.
And you were also saying, like, for your path or for your career, for all your journey, you are kind of connected with a little girl. I want to hear more about that because I feel like when you're a child, we don't see limits, right? Just go for it. Like imagination, it's so connected. Even in angels, right, Janette, we can connect with them much easier when you're a child because you don't have a lot of beliefs and things that could put you behind, like pushing you behind.
Right. And you're not told that it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
When a lot of times what I find is that, in looking back, that children have their imaginary friends, and, parents just say, he's talking to his imaginary friend. Well, they're not imaginary. It's their angels. It's their guides. The veil is so thin when we're children because we're so pure. We're still connected to the divine, really, because we haven't been as heavily influenced as we are when we start to go to school. That's a big one. As soon as we start to go to school, and that's actually, when our natural breath changes, is around the age of 5 or 6 years old. Most of us are born belly breathers, and we lose that when we start going to school. It's when we start to lose our connection to our most pure self.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like you want to fit in a pattern, fit in a group. Like you want to feel that you belong there, and sometimes you give up of your own essence just to fit that kind of group.
Right. And Janette, don't you find that people forget they have angels?
Yes, yeah. Even sometimes some of my colleagues who work with the angels forget to consult their angels. It's like, oh, it's a VA moment, right? Oh, I forgot to check in with my angels.
And some
Yeah,
people have a hard time believing that they have angels.
Right. Or that they're deserving. I mean, I was one of those. I wrote about it in my chapter, um, that I used to think oh, I grew up in the church and I knew about angels, but I thought it was only like if you were the mother of Jesus or Mother Teresa, if you were good enough to have angels. But we all have at least two guardian angels that are with us our entire life.
Mhm.
And then we have guides, we have teachers, we have, loved ones on the other side that send us messages when we're quiet enough to hear them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And when years ago in the 90s, I wrote a book, and it was a lot about my spiritual life, my spiritual journey, and I submitted it to some Catholic presses, and they wrote me a letter. I'll never forget the one letter. It said, "You are treading on dangerous ground," and I was like, "Wow, you know." Why do they think that only people that live in convents and monasteries can have mystical experiences?
Right,
So this was a big step for me to write the
right,
chapter, The Awakened Mystic. It was huge for me to really admit the different things that happened to me when I was a child and then when I was older. But I think it's time, and I hope that my chapter gives other people permission to recognize those beautiful experiences that are meant to give us guidance and support and love.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's one of the main difference. Of course, there are a lot of, but the main difference between religion and a spiritual journey is like you don't give up your inner power when you're connected to the spirituality, and that's exactly what you're doing here at the Wellness Universe. We want to make you ensure that you have your inner power and you can connect to your guardian angels and to the Creator all the time. You don't need to ask for permission because you are the God inside you, right? So this is one of the most powerful thing when you just like acknowledge during our awakening process. And of course, we know like the church they have like such a good task also in people's lives, but mainly give you the power that you have yourself. You don't have to ask for permission. It's inside yourself.
That's right. That's right. I'll never forget the first time that I actually told my students or was teaching my students during a yoga class that the divine dwells within them. The divine dwells within you as you. And I was so, that took a lot of courage for me to come out and say what I already knew.
yeah,
But everybody, wow, people are ready. They're recognizing that we're so much more than the body and the mind, that we're infinite spirits having a human experience. And it's a wonderful thing.
right,
Beautiful. And Jeanette, your chapter, I love this idea that you guys are here together, although it's your chapter, the second, and Kathleen, the sixth chapter. But you guys have a connection because you talk about peaceful and quietude. And
Hmm.
that's just Kathleen said, there is no other way for you to connect with your soul if you're not in a quiet, in a silent mode.
right.
I
Hmm.
want you to talk more about it, how your process, like this quietude, this peaceful, well-being state of mind.
Right. And it's it's very possible to have inner peace and inner quiet even when there's a lot of noise going on around you. So don't feel like you have to sit on a cushion in a quiet ashram for hours at a time to get this effect. Both Kathleen and I have been through a lot of health issues, just life. And we have both, come to the spot where it's important for us daily to connect with the divine and to be in that state, like, like living your life like a prayer, like a walking prayer. Um, and I just think it's so fun, that Kathleen and I have similar. Well, we have so many similar. When I first met her, I'm like, "Ooh, I love her." Um, so that was fun. We had this wonderful connection. Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to see you here. So, yeah, it's just important, and that's how I like to start my day and end my day in a peaceful state of quietude. Checking in with the divine, my angels, and it with, you know, a heart full of gratitude as well. It just makes my day so much better.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's not like Janette said, it's not something that you have to do all the time, but it's like anything else. The more time you put into it, the more it becomes who you are. So we practice what we practice, we become. So, you know, I had an unusual experience where I was able to retreat for 3 years and really devote myself to a lot of meditation. But all of that is, I've used all that to create programs and tools for people so that they don't have to do that. They don't have to spend hours a day in meditation. I mean, it's anything that quiets your mind, anything that brings you into your heart, even something simple like the gratitude journal. I think that came from you, Janette. The gratitude journal at night, journal 3 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful devotional practice. And you know, you wake up grateful when you go to sleep grateful.
Right, right. And to feel that gratitude, because there's such a difference between saying I'm thankful for my friends and family, but to really feel why you're grateful for that, to embody that gratitude, you know, and yes, moments of silence in a state of
Yeah.
gratitude.
Hmm. And just breathing, just taking the time to breathe,
Yeah.
um, and just be still and remember that the breath is the gift of life, that the breath is, you know, will always lead you within yourself when you're focusing on it, because
Right,
the breath comes in, the breath goes out. And when you
right.
listen to the sound of breath, it's so soothing, it's so beautiful. It sounds like the waves of the ocean, really, when you're listening.
Mhm.
And that's such a comfort and a beautiful way to really connect to your highest self.
It's so beautiful. And the breath is mainly the thing we need to be alive, right? And sometimes we take that for granted.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes you feel, okay, right now I'm in a bad situation. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Let me think about something that I could be grateful
Hmm.
for. Your breath, right? You have the air.
Yes.
You're here, you're alive. You woke up today. That would
Yeah.
be more than enough for you to be grateful for, right? Then things are gonna go just because you're grateful for.
Yes, absolutely. You know, even when I was in treatment, I was grateful for the people who took care of me. I was grateful that I was able to have treatment. I was grateful for everything. And it helps with your healing too.
Hmm.
When you're if you're sick, right, Jeanette?
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were many times when I would in the middle of the night, I'd wake up, somebody would, you know, come in and they want to give you a pill or they want to take blood or whatever. And I would look for the green. I would look, you know, and knew that Archangel Raphael, who is God's healing angel, was around me. And I'd see it in the little monitors, the green lights. I'd see it in the staff's uniforms coming in with their green scrubs. And I'm just like, okay, I'm in a good spot. I'm being cared for. And as I'm here, I have my green crystal point. So it's just, you know, loving, healing, goodness.
Mhm. Yeah, and even things that remind you of your angels and remind you of your beautiful soul. Like I know when I went in for my stem cell transplant, my room looked like a temple. Had all kinds of crystals and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
hanging on the wall.
Excuse me.
So yeah,
Oh,
so too.
pardon me.
And so yeah, so whatever, and that to me is a form of meditation.
Mhm.
Okay, we don't have, like Jeanette said, we nobody can be sitting on their cushion all the time now.
Right, right.
And we don't have to. It's anything that just really fills your heart, fills your soul. If it's music of the beautiful birds singing in the morning, I mean, gosh, is there anything more beautiful to wake up than the beautiful sound of the birds singing?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, just,
that it. I've really been noticing that, and a couple of nights ago at dinner, we heard mourning doves, and I'm like, oh, that's just such
mhm,
a wonderful sound, you
mhm,
know, and so looking for those little breadcrumbs,
yeah,
the little, because the little things in life are the big things in life,
yes.
right? The being able to take a breath, um, at the office, if things are, you know, going out of hand, you can take a moment, take a big deep breath,
Mhm,
get centered, and then respond the way you
mhm,
want. Um, and you can do that anywhere. I recently was at the DMV to renew my driver's license, and there's a lot of people in chaos there, you know. But I was able to walk in there, and I knew that I was going to have good service, and I just
mhm,
knew it, you know,
mhm.
that I was going to be like a love magnet. Um, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
You know, I set the intention. So I had a very beautiful experience, but you know, I was prepared because I had my tools. Um, you know, we just have to remember to use them, right?
yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And
It's that.
we see it in our own benefit because
Yeah.
the better we are, the more we're contribution to the others as well.
yes, yeah,
Yes, we make, when we bring the best version of ourselves to life, we change the world around us.
Exactly.
Now, when you're in a state of love, and love is a choice, love is more than romantic love.
Yes.
Living love is a choice that we can make consciously. And just bringing that state of love into like a grocery store, you're changing the energetic field in that entire grocery store, whether other people are aware of it or not, but you do, because the frequency and the vibration of love are so expansive. And yeah.
I love that. I need a bigger shopping cart for that love that I'm, you know, broadcasting out there, Kathleen. Love that.
Yes,
Well,
it's
there's
like the
good.
magically is open doors, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, yeah,
everything works smoothly for all of us when you just like go with this positive attitude.
right. And the universal language is a smile.
Yeah.
Just
Mm-hmm.
smile.
Mm-hmm.
And whether someone speaks your language or not, they always
Right.
speak the language
I
of a
love
Right.
that. This is an amazing tone.
smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And we know from COVID with our masks that you can see a smile through a person's eyes.
I yes.
You knew when they were smiling at
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember that. That was like something that I meditated about it because when you cannot see, but you can feel through your eyes, right?
Mhm.
mhm,
I
Mhm.
love
mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, amazing girls. I just want to you guys to share just a little bit, of course, because in July we'll be launching the new book, but
Mhm.
just a little bit more about the tools because I know people get crazy about it, right? I myself, I can tell, I use all the tools I try to put in my daily basis because they're
Right.
so powerful. And as you're saying, it's simple,
Mhm.
the simple things that's the strongest because it's something that you can add it in your daily basis, and that's when you see like the magic happens.
Right.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
You go first.
Oh, I was just going to say, you go first. So my tool is, of course, it's angel cards and acrostics. So I love to write, and that's my go-to is journaling and writing. And I love angel cards. And so, you know, I just happen to have a deck of angel cards here. So that's my tool is doing a sacred angel card session with yourself and creating an acrostic. So, um, that's going to be my workshop for the A Transformational Journey that's coming. And you can mark your calendars for September 9th at noon Eastern for my session. Kathleen, I don't know when yours is scheduled, but there's going to be 25 sessions from September through the end of November. So 3 months of goodness after the book is launched, so that all the authors can teach you their tools. And so that was one of the things. My tool was based on the experience of losing my brother. He had a brain tumor, and so he went from being able to walk 5 miles a day to not being able to walk within a very short period of time. And I had a real hard time adjusting to that because we were a year apart, and I talked for him the first few years of his life and was his protector. And so seeing him decline was awful. And that's when I found a woman on Facebook that shared angel messages. And the words that she shared were such a balm to my soul that I was able to walk through those dark and scary days in faith, and knowing that despite the circumstances, that I was loved, I was supported, and I was cared for. And the miracle that I prayed for wasn't the miracle that I got. I got a different miracle of the love, of the support, of the care that my brother received. So that was huge for me. And that was my transformation. That experience led me to be working with the angels. And so that's what I wrote about.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And you, Kathleen?
I shared some of the mystical experiences that I had as a young child. And the first one, I think I was about 5. And the interesting thing about these mystical experiences when I was a young child, that I wasn't blown away by them. I wasn't afraid of them. I accepted them as just the most normal thing in my life, which I look back now and I kind of find it fascinating that, as a little girl who saw an angel across the room that was just smiling at me, or the things that I would see when my eyes were closed, when I was in prayer. And then, of course, this vision, this mystical vision I had at one of the most, traumatic times in my life was what gave me the courage to move forward and to take a leap of faith. So I share those. It's the first time I've ever shared them like that. I might have told a couple of close friends in recent years, but those were like my really, really private, interior life experiences that I felt brave enough to share this time. And the tools, and I take, the journey continued in how all of these events influenced my life. And even when other people didn't understand it, I've always had this calling, always being drawn to the divine, always, since I was a little girl. And I call my soul the captain of my ship because she's always been so strong and so powerful. And if I don't listen, well, then I'm in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
Thank
So the tools that I'm sharing are about with meditation, but guided meditation. It's about awareness, about discernment. Discernment's really important. And to understand that meditation is the listening to the divine, and prayer is the speaking to the divine. Prayer is the asking. Prayer is the conversation. The meditation is for listening. So, without sharing everything, I really look forward to this because I believe there's a mystic in everyone.
Yes.
Because yeah, and it doesn't have to be mysterious anymore. Mysticism is simply the yearning, the longing for a connection to the divine, for a longing for something beyond the material world that we live in. Because we know, inside we know, with a capital K. And it's time for us to really listen to that, awaken to it, and live according to that divine presence within us, because that's what is going to change the world.
I love that. That's so powerful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. Yeah, definitely tonight when I'm journaling what I'm grateful for, it's you girls. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Claudia.
Yeah,
So much.
beautiful soul you are.
Yes. I
Absolutely.
can't wait to read your chapter,
Oh,
Kathleen.
me too.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to have the book in my hands.
I know. They're
Exactly.
the kind of books that you have to have in your
Yeah.
hand, because
Absolutely.
lifetime you can find something in those books that will give you guidance and comfort when you need it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I love that. Jeanette, I know we didn't agree with that, but I was wondering, can you have a card for us for today?
Oh,
What is angel going
yes.
to tell us?
I certainly can.
Possible?
Yeah. Your angels sent me the nudge to go to the other room and get the cards. So, yeah, we're using the Magical Mermaids and Dolphin cards, and our message is accept heaven's help. So
Oh,
accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help to get out of the way and let heaven help you. So let your angels, your guides, your inner wisdom, let heaven help you. And so there's a mermaid that's sitting in in a little cove on a rock, and then she's surrounded by lots of seagulls. So there's help. And when we ask to open our hearts to allow and receive that love coming in from above.
that card was perfect. They're
Perfect. They were
all
listening to us. I think so. Right?
perfect.
Thank you, angels. Yes.
Rangers, they were listening to us. Just confirm everything, guys, you're saying. This
Yes,
surrender,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
yes. I love it. I
Here.
love
Let's
Perfect.
stop being so much independent, right? We want to be so independent nowadays. No, let's surrender to the
it.
universe. They
That's
have the best for us.
part of it. Yes, surrender is a big part of it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh,
Yeah, so July 6th, right? It's July 6th, the
July 8th,
8th.
you
Yeah.
know, around there. So
On
yeah.
Amazon, we have like a lot of news coming
Mhm.
up. And in September, as you said, we have this from December to November.
yes, the
Mhm.
A Transformational Journey workshops that each of the authors are teaching their tool
Mhm.
in a separate workshop. So please stand by for more information about
Stay
that.
tuned.
Yes.
Everyone can join us, right? It's not, you don't
Yes,
have to be a member in the
Yeah.
Wellness
that's
Universe.
Right.
correct. That's correct.
September 10th at noon.
Oh,
Yeah.
September 10th. Okay, you're the day after me. I had to pick 9/9 at 9 my time because, I just had to. Because 9 is the number of transformation.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like the perfect
I know.
date.
I'm really excited about this book.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
I
Yeah.
am
too.
too.
Tools
Yeah.
for Transformation. 25 Tools for Transformation coming up July 8th
Mhm.
with these amazing souls and spiritual beings. I love you girls so
Oh,
much. Thank you for
Oh,
this
thank you.
opportunity with me with you today.
Thank
thank you.
you so much,
Good to
Claudia.
see you
So
soon.
great to be with you,
You
Kathleen.
too. Love you, dear.
Love you
Love you
too.
girls. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.